Alrighty, here we are. It's Monday, October 6th, 2025. I did the noon hour of madness and mayhem by myself in the sauna known as the Cannonball 101 studio. Jade, before he left for today, got the KBEAR studio fixed, thankfully. Shout out to the tech wizard himself, the one and only Jade Davis. He was at the Mudvayne show this past Friday. Same with Victor, same with me, same with Maddie. Saw a lot of listeners. It was pretty cool. I never get tired of not the same people, just different people seeing me with the same message of going, oh, you really are that tall. Like, do you think I'm just making it up? There's either like the comment that goes, oh, you really are that tall, or I thought you'd be taller. I thought you'd be at least 7'3". There's always those two, right? Anyway, if you want to get a hold of me, you can over at 208-535-1015. That song I just played for you from the band Gore called Wrath. I highly recommend listening to their EP. It is phenomenal. It's greatly produced. I love the vocals. I love the diversity in the tracks, the different sounds you get. The musicianship overall is fantastic. I meant to make a post about it on my Facebook, but I've just been rather busy. I talked about it on the noon hour of Madness and Mayhem just a tad bit earlier that this weekend I traveled to and from Twin Falls just to hang out, get out of town for the weekend. You know, you're supposed to enjoy the weather before it gets a whole lot worse, but Saturday it was bad with the rain. There was a part where I hydroplaned for a solid 5 seconds, got really freaked out, white-knuckled grip the steering wheel. I didn't have cruise control on. I was getting very nervous that something bad was going to happen, or I was just not meant to go to Twin Falls, and I should have made a proper U-turn, but I was already like more than halfway to Twin, and just, yeah, I felt like it was easier just to battle through the rain. Luckily, I survived. I'm all good. I'm here. Nothing bad happened. Victor went to sleep token last night at the Maverick Center, so he's sleeping in for today. I'm sure he'll be back tomorrow, and my best bet is that he's going to come in and go, oh, those strobe lights, they messed me up. I have a headache. I ate a bad hot dog. My stomach hurts. I might need to leave early, Peaches. You might need to just do the noon hour by yourself today. I'll see how I feel tomorrow. That type of thing. He's always not feeling well. There's always something going on with our old pal, the one, the only, Viktor Wilt. Anyway, I'll be back here in just a few on KBEAR 101. I really hate how this chair is just completely broken, and Victor is so quick to blame me. But it's not the quality of the chair that he blames. It's me sitting down just in this chair that he blames. And he's like, well, I'm going to get my own and just hide it in my office. I'm like, yeah, if you really want to be that guy who takes his own office chair down the hall, rolls it up and down the hall because he wants his own chair, watch his fat butt break that chair. You know, I come into work sometimes and I don't even say anything. Nothing at all. And I just tune into KBEAR and I hear him talking all this trash about how I'm breaking the chairs here. I'm just sitting here doing the show. It's legitimately it. Maybe I should send him to Mount Everest. Be like, hey, go climb this and leave me alone. I saw this whole thing about how over 600 people are currently stuck at the top of Mount Everest with no way down after a blizzard strands them at the summit. Now, I would say maybe you should keep track of the weather before you ascend one of the tallest mountains in the world. But I also stupidly drove to Twin Falls when there was expected heavy rain throughout the whole day Saturday. So there was nearly 1,000 climbers that were trapped on top of Mount Everest. Hundreds of them, luckily, about 350 people are already safely down from the mountain, but the rest are still fighting, braving the elements. How do you get down from there? Like, what's the emergency situation? Do they fly a helicopter up there? Can they do that? Oh, jeez. There are many things in life that I want to do. Climbing a mountain is not one of them. One of the worst hikes I have ever done was the ascent to Santiago Peak in Southern California. We left at like 4:30 in the morning to get to the hiking trail itself. Got there around 6 a.m., started the hike around 6:30, ended the hike 12 hours later, and I was crawling to the car. That is the biggest in-and-out order that I have ever gotten after that hike, ever. In my entire life, I had like 2 3x3s, animal fry, and a large shake just because of all those calories burnt. because of that hike. Oh, man, was that a treacherous adventure. Was it memorable? Yes. Will I ever do it again? Absolutely not. KBEAR 101, very excited to go see Days Seeker this Friday at the Mountain America Center. They're opening up for In This Moment. There's also The Funeral Portrait and Dead on the lineup. Man, it's going to be a fun show this Friday, October 10th, at the Mountain America Center. What is going on with this light behind me here in the studio? I think it's haunted. It's supposed to stay on the color blue, but it keeps rapidly, I don't know, turning on and off. Oh, now it's doing some sort of like RGB pattern. I'm looking out into the hallway to see if Josh from Classy's messing with me or something like that, but I think he's very busy with his own stuff. I don't think he would do so. Jade's not here. Victor's definitely not here. So is the building haunted? What is going on? I was posting a meme in the KBEAR 101 Idaho Rock and Metal Facebook group. Victor posted some pictures and videos of the Sleep Token show last night at the Maverick Center. And, people are so quick to just laugh react to it. It's just like, why do you have to feel the need to laugh react to a certain post? Like, are you trying to show that your music taste is superior type of thing? So I posted this meme that I forgot what page posted it originally. I believe it was Deathcore and Pig Squeals, where it shows the SpongeBob scene where the one fish is telling Squidward, I'll have a I hate Sleep Token with a I don't understand the hype. And then Squidward just goes, how original. It's true, though. Like, I just talked about it in a YouTube video that I'm about to post at KBEAR 101 RMG. I decided to react to Taylor Swift's new song, Wood, and put that on there. Again, KBEAR 101 RMG. I truly don't understand people who just say, I just don't understand the hype. Like, did you listen to it and you just don't like it? Because that's a more valid excuse to not liking something, to just simply say, hey, I don't like it, doesn't sound good to me. Versus, I don't understand the hype. Really. Again, that's just me talk. I must be on I'm on a negative tirade this morning. Or not this morning, this afternoon. I need to stop it. We need to turn into Peach's positivity party. I've seen those texts before, back when we had a text line. Peaches, become more positive on the air. That's when we turn into nothing but happy music for 5 hours, and we take deep breaths. No, I'm just kidding. If you're not a part of the KBEAR 101 Idaho Rock and Metal Facebook group, definitely join. Please follow us on social media. Also, KBEAR 101 RMG on YouTube. I decided to, sit through that entire song, a whole 2.5 minutes of Taylor Swift's Wood, so you don't have to. And you can see my honest reaction of it on our YouTube very soon. Personally, I have been loving what's been going on Instagram. I mean, it kind of gets overwhelming when you scroll Instagram Reels and you see nothing but AI-generated Sora edits. You know what I'm talking about? I think it's OpenAI, the same company that has ChatGPT. They decided to come out with this program called Sora, which makes you type in a prompt, or you can type in a prompt, and then it generates a video based off of what you typed out. And so many people have made memes out of this with historical figures. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about what I've seen on Instagram so far, but I'm pretty sure you catch my drift. There's been a lot of edits of Martin Luther King Jr., and one of my favorites was him saying, I have a dream that Xbox Game Pass was still $20 and not $30. That whole ordeal that we talked about last week, how they increased the price of Xbox Game Pass by $10. And so as a result, there were so many people trying to cancel their Xbox Game Pass that it crashed the website. And it's not looking good for Xbox whatsoever. I'm so thankful that my parents decided to be extremely generous and be the best parents, like I mentioned many times, and decide to gift me a PC out of all things. I didn't want them to, but they did, and I was like, okay, cool. Thank you so very much. It helped me now be able to get extra money for some computer parts that I could then keep it upgraded as time goes on, get a second monitor maybe, make this big switch from console gaming to PC gaming, finally see what PC gaming's all about. And all I've been doing as of late is just playing a whole lot of nostalgic games. I bought Thrillville off the rails. It's kind of like Roller Coaster Tycoon, but I've been 100% completing that game. Once I'm finally done, I'll uninstall it. And then I decided, I just looked up SpongeBob on Steam just because I wanted to see if there was any SpongeBob games. And sure enough, there's this new one called SpongeBob and the Cosmic Shake, or something like that, and it was on sale for $9. I said, you know what? Let me just get it for fun. Not really playing the most Not really playing the biggest of titles on my gaming PC. No, there's been a lot of just fun little games here and there. I don't get enough time really to sit down and play through Red Dead Redemption 2, Fallout New Vegas. I might need to get back into streaming on Twitch. I know a lot of people have been anticipating my return to live streaming my games, and sure enough, like what Victor has mentioned many times, after you're done doing this type of thing on the air here, you don't necessarily want to go home and talk more. But anyway, going back to the whole Sora thing, those AI-generated videos, one of my absolute favorites as well has been the edits of Stephen Hawking at, like, the X Games, pretending he's a skateboarder and going up and down the ramp. I don't want to get too morbid here. Let's move on to some Bill Murray more than hate on KBEAR 101. 2 months into the season, the New York Mets were the best team in baseball. By the end of the season, they missed the playoffs, which has led to a shakeup of the coaching staff, while manager Carlos Mendoza still has his job. A bunch of other coaches, including a pitching coach, 2 hitting coaches, as well as the third base coach, among others, will not return. On Thursday in Los Angeles, the San Francisco 49ers beat the Rams in dramatic fashion, and over the weekend it was revealed that 49ers quarterback Mac Jones, who threw for 342 yards and 2 touchdowns, had a rough start to his game day. It seems he was on the balcony of his hotel hours before kickoff and saw a dead body floating in the marina. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is still investigating the incident, but somehow, some way, Jones blocked out the dead body drama, took care of business on the field. 2 games yesterday were impacted by the Skycam and the cables that make it work, and the refs missed both calls. In the early morning London game, the Minnesota Vikings missed a 51-yard field goal against the Cleveland Browns when the ball apparently struck a cable. It wasn't noticed at the time. If the refs had realized the cables were involved, the cable was involved, the kicker would have gotten another chance to kick. And then later in the day, the Cowboys-Jets game at MetLife Stadium, Jets quarterback Justin Fields threw a screen pass towards running back Breece Hall. It struck the face mask of Cowboys defensive end Dante Fowler Jr., and then it hit the Fox Skycam. The refs ruled that it was an incomplete pass. They were wrong. Should have been a do-over. So we'll see what happens with all of that. That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on KBEAR 101. Peach's Pit Party right here. You know, we have 2 Halloweenish tracks every hour as part of our KBEAR Rockin' Halloween, Haunted by Juice City Vapor. Then on Halloween, nonstop Halloween music. Now, this past Friday from noon to 2, Victor was at Wackerly Auto Center giving out pairs of haunted passports. We announced those winners on Facebook Live also on Friday. So if your name was drawn, your haunted passport, your pair of haunted passports for each of you are waiting at the front desk. Stop on by and pick those up. And then also for the rest of the people that didn't show up to the remotes, there's still opportunities to win these haunted passports, all thanks to our Scream Tones with Wackerly Auto Center and Minuteman Services. Just listen for that scream tone. You'll know it when you hear it. You'll hear the scream, obviously, and then call now. And then you got to be caller 13 at 208-535-1015 to win yourself a haunted passport to 4 haunted attractions here in the area. You got Idaho's Haunted Hospital in St. Anthony. You got Slaughter's Realm in Blackfoot. You got the Haunted Mill in Teton. And there's one more. Who am I missing? Who am I forgetting? I had this list memorized. I just dropped the AC remotes. Where are the haunted passports? Did they all get taken? Are they somewhere else? Oh, they're right here behind the phone. Hang on. What's the final one? I already said Haunted Mill, Slaughter's Realm, Idaho's Haunted Hospital, Lost Souls Attractions in Shelley. Did I say attractions poorly? Attractions in Shelley. That's also the 4th haunted attraction you can go to for free, thanks to our haunted passport with Wackerly Auto Center and Minuteman Services. Listen for those scream tones, and let's do a Halloweenish track right now with Juice City Vapor, The Misfits, It's Skulls. Didn't I on Friday find a great question for To Peach Their Own and say that I would, I said that I would ask it on Monday? I don't have that question on hand. I apologize. I completely forgot what that question was. Maybe I should go back to the archive, the Peach's Pit Party podcast, and listen to my own podcast to find out what exactly that question was. Or maybe I can ask this question for To Peach Their Own. What is one skill everyone should learn? All right, let's see if I know any of these. You can as well. Let's play a game here. Are you more skillful than Peaches? There we go. Handling medical emergencies. Well, Do I know what to do in a variety of injury situations or a variety of situations where, like, let's say somebody passes out or just starts choking? I'm not CPR certified, so I would say no, I'm not. That's not a skill that I have. No. Talking with someone you've just met. Well, I feel like I do that all the time. I do that with interviews. I do that with listeners. I do that every day almost. Talking to people on the phone all the time for the to peach their own segment. I feel like I know that skill. I have that skill pretty easily. Listening. I have to listen to people's answers when I interview them or just talk to people. Ask them questions about their life. So sure, I'm a good listener. Managing money? Oh. I feel like I'm somewhat okay. I save for a couple of days, and then there's that one day where I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should treat myself to a nice jacket, something like that, and then end up spending a ton of money that I shouldn't have. Oops. What is one skill everyone should learn? Critical thinking and independent thought. Yep, definitely. Cooking and laundry. 2 things I learned too late in life, but I know them. Swimming. There's a lot of people that I know that don't know how to swim, and it's pretty wild, honestly. Maybe it's because I grew up near the ocean, or my parents were like, hey, swimming's a necessity. You're going to have to learn just in case you ever fall out of a boat or something like that. Fighting? I mean, self-defense more like it. Other than fighting, don't be that guy who just wants to fight people. Sales, yeah, this list gets pretty boring here. But maybe I should ask this for to peach their own, see what the listeners have to say during the 4 p.m. hour later this afternoon. Okay, so I'm reading something here about a specific TikTok video. This creator, Gabby Donahue, shared a video of her dad at a restaurant in Italy attempting to order a chicken parm. Not by saying the name, but by showing the waiter a photo of the dish on his phone. Now, here's the thing. Did he attempt to look at the menu? Is the entire menu in Italian? Could he not just look at the menu and see that chicken parm is not on there? Because I'm assuming most menus have pictures, right? Right? Unless all of a sudden in Italy, all their menus are just in text. I wouldn't know. I've never been. But apparently he showed the waiter a Google image of the Olive Garden chicken parm in Italy. This Boston Irish boomer trying to order a chicken parm at a restaurant in Italy. Wouldn't you want something different? The waiter takes one look and goes, only in the States. It doesn't exist in Italy. Does chicken... Okay, let's look that up. Does chicken parm actually... Or does chicken parm exist in Italy? Oh, it's not a traditional dish. But see, I wouldn't have been that dumb to be like, man, I'm really craving a chicken parm. Let's go to some random restaurant, and I can just tell the waiter who doesn't speak any English whatsoever. Maybe he does. Actually, he probably does. He just says right there, only in the States. It doesn't exist in Italy. So he definitely does. To show him a picture of a chicken parm demanding that. Did this guy get upset? I don't necessarily want to watch the video. Well, I guess the dad was okay with it. I read further into the story here. He just said, okay, and then moved on to something else. There's your fun fact for the day. Chicken parm does not exist in Italy. Woohoo. Peach's Pit Party right here on KBEAR 101. I wish I could get her in here to talk about her experience with concert photography thus far, but, well, Maddie, our marketing assistant down the hall, she has not only done a ton of work behind the scenes when it comes to a variety of tasks, but recently she has been nonstop with the concert photography, you know, the variety of shows that we've had so far here in the area. I mean, Chevelle Asking Alexandria, Dead Poet Society, she photographed that show. Mudvayne, Static X, and Vended this past Friday, which I'm looking at the Vended photos that she has ready so far. They look phenomenal. Vended put on a great performance. All those bands did, especially Static X. They surprised me with how good they are. Really. Because, you know, there's a lot of people out there that say, well, it's not really Static X because it's, you know, Edsel Dope, who's the lead singer. And honestly, I was quite entertained by their bubbles and all of that stuff. I just got a Google chat notification. I was telling Maddie to potentially come to the studio to talk about her experience with concert photography, but I don't necessarily want to bother her. She'll sometimes text me and say things like, Peach. And then I'll go, what's up? And she won't say anything, so I just hit her back with Maddie. And she put, what? Maybe I shouldn't reply. Maybe I should just leave it as that, a taste of her own medicine, huh? But this Friday, of course, we got In This Moment, Dayseeker, The Funeral Portrait, and Dead. That is going to be one stacked show, and Maddie will be in the photo pit. We'll be there as well. It's the final show of the year, really. I feel like it is. The final show of the area, I should say. I think in November, I'm going to make my way down to Salt Lake City, go see Set It Off, Fame on Fire, Vanna, and the Pretty Wild. I might try to get her a photo pit pass for that one as well at the Complex in Salt Lake. Just so you know, she gets more experience with concert photography, make her work more, and I enjoy the show from the pit area, you know? If you want to go to any show making its way to the area, check out our concert calendar at riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. As part of our KBEAR Rockin' Halloween, haunted by Juice City Vapor, the Haxons with Godzilla 2 Halloweenish tracks every hour. Why not play a Halloween-themed music bed for my live radio show here for the podcast? You're not going to hear anything besides me talking directly to you. Sorry. It's just the way that it is, you know? Even though I hate that phrase, it is what it is. It applies for this specific situation. Same thing goes for, you know, oftentimes I talk about how tall I am. I'm not necessarily just tall. I'm also just a wide dude. So I need to go to the big and tall section at some stores. Get that 3XL tee for the best fitting t-shirt. Because I don't really want to wear the 3XL, a standard 3XL that just sucks and it shows off details nobody wants to see. So my girlfriend and I will go to the big and tall section at a place like JCPenney. And it was quite sad because we were talking about how, you know, women's clothes are plus sized. Also today, by the way, it's National Plus Size Appreciation Day, apparently. So there's that. But we were talking about how what would it be like if women's clothing was also big and tall labeled. You know, we kind of made that joke saying there would be a lot of offended people. And then we looked at the boys section, and there's a boys husky size, something that I've never seen before. And I'm just thinking, like, that's pretty sad. Like, I don't know. I feel like because I was that boy, that was the husky dude. We didn't have that size back then. I feel old saying that, but I don't think there was boys husky back in the day. I just wore a men's t-shirt. It was just one of those things. That's basically it. Boys husky. What makes the boys husky size, or what does the boys husky size mean? Larger, heavier, broader shouldered boys with a wider fit than standard sizes. I feel like the old guy saying this. These kids have it easier. They got shirts that fit. Back in my day, I just had a fit into a size large in adults at like 8 years old. Anyway, fit for a king shelter here on Peach's Pit Party. So you might as well just change Chat GPT into Confession GPT with this one. This 19-year-old college student suspected of vandalizing cars on the campus of Missouri State University finally arrested after he allegedly confessed to the crime in a conversation with Chat GPT. His name's Ryan Schaefer, sophomore at the university, vandalized 17 cars, damaging mirrors, smashing windows, denting hoods. Police reviewed the surveillance footage, suspected Schaefer. Officers paid him a visit, and he denied having anything to do with the crime, but then he gave investigators permission to search his phone, and they were able to determine that he was at the location around the time of the crime. They also discovered that he just went on to ChatGPT and asked several questions, including, is there any way they could know it was me? And will I go to jail? You got to be careful. Actually, you know what? Why should I say you got to be careful? Criminals, be dumb out there. You know, get caught. Schaefer was arrested, charged with felony property damage. No kidding. That's today's What the Headline, right here on KBEAR 101. I tried uploading my reaction to Taylor Swift's Wood, you know, one of the songs on the new album, The Life of a Showgirl. Tried uploading it, and immediately it was hit with a whole blocked copyright strike. Only because, well, I'm assuming it's extra tightly looked at with Taylor Swift. So I had to do the whole dispute and fight back saying, hey, it's just commentary on one of her songs. It's not me presenting it as my own. It's me talking about it. I'm hoping I didn't get the Swifties upset. I feel like the most angry fan base I've ever dealt with had to be Seether. with the whole thing about asking them on Reddit what questions should I ask during my interview with Dale of Seether. And I didn't ask a single one of their questions because it was all about like, why haven't you released the box set? What happened to this? Blah, blah. It was entirely negative what exactly they were telling me to ask. So I ignored the Reddit users and just asked my questions and then uploaded that interview to the subreddit, and they were all upset saying, you didn't ask a single question. Why would you even ask us if you didn't do so? Blah, 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 blah. And I think they gave it a couple dislikes. There was that fan base, and then there was the Deftones fan base where I talked about I'm not necessarily the biggest Deftones fan, but I still reacted to their track. What track was it again? My Mind is a Mountain. It was the first track they released in quite some time. Like right as it dropped, I turned on the studio light, recorded the YouTube reaction video, and I said I'm not the biggest Deftones fan. He would have thought I said I hate this band because all the comments were, why would you react to something if you don't care for it? I'm like, I can do whatever I want. I can react to whatever I want to on our YouTube channel. Hence why I reacted to Taylor Swift's Wood on the new album, The Life of a Showgirl. But that video should be out hopefully soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to see it. Hopefully it will be up there very soon. KBEAR 101 RMG. This guy, this Gen Zer, I'm going to get mad reading this story. This Gen Zer works from home. He's gone viral on TikTok because he shared the way his employer pretty much tracks his every move during the day. His name's Tim Lee. The company rolled out new time tracking software that takes screenshots every 10 minutes, monitors keystrokes, mouse movement, the URLs he visits, and so on and so forth. Even calculates how much time he spends on each task. He calls it pretty dystopian. Says he doesn't feel like his work should be measured by how much time he spends staring at a screen. He says while he understands the employer's perspective, the whole thing feels more like surveillance than support. No kidding. Could you imagine doing something like a daily recap where you have to log how many minutes you do something and how many tasks you do in a day? That's just signs of like of weak leadership, a terrible employer. An employer that doesn't trust his employees, that type of thing. They just want to see you be a cog in the machine type thing. Of course, people were horrified by this whole thing, many urging him to quit ASAP. Well, his TikTok's gone viral. I don't know if he even named the company, but I'm assuming his company's going to know now. Like, oh, hey, doesn't this guy work for us and he's making fun of our ways? Let's just get rid of him because he's speaking his mind type of thing. I'm hoping this guy can find a better job somewhere else. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, a.k.a. Brendan Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.